Hey guys, hope you're doing well. For today's video, I'm going to tell you about 6 ways to get your Canada PR if you are 30 years of age or older. Now, these pathways can also be used by people who are lesser than 30 years of age but who have a low CRS score. If you don't already know, you can get the highest CRS points for your age criteria, which is 110 if you're applying alone and 100 if you're applying with your spouse if you are between 20 to 29 years of age. After 29, your CRS points drop by about 5 points each year. So if you're around 30 years of age, it becomes more and more difficult for you to get enough points to qualify for the Express Entry program, as the CRS cutoff scores nowadays are super high for Express Entry candidates. So if you are in this age group and you are still determined to move to Canada, do watch the video till the end, as I'll be giving you 6 options that you can use to get your permanent residency for Canada. And you might want to stick around till the end, as option number 6 is really special and it may apply for many of you, and you may want to pay close attention to it. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Hey guys, this is Jason from Dream Canada. If you're new to the channel, I show people how to save their money and immigrate to new countries through my videos without the help of any immigration consultants or agents or lawyers. You can find all process instructions for you to apply on your own through this channel. Subscribe now, because all the information provided here is completely free and I answer all your queries in the comment section and on my social handles on Instagram and Twitter, so don't forget to follow us there as well. So there was a time when Canadian immigration was completely different, where there was no Express Entry program or any points based system for that matter which we have today. It used to be like you make your application, you submit your documentation and wait for your approval to be processed in a year or two. Sometimes it used to even take 3 or 4 years depending on your location where you've applied from. But at the end of the day, you would definitely get your approval and you would get your Canadian permanent residence without the need for scoring any points or anything of that sort. This process changed drastically in January 2015 when the Express Entry program started, wherein the processing time became really short in around 6 months or so. But there was a whole lot of eligibility factors introduced because of the sheer number of immigration applications IRCC used to receive. If you're unfamiliar with the Express Entry program, I've made a detailed video with all the necessary requirements and step-by-step application processes, right from what documents you'll need to collect, like your ECA and your IELTS report, your CRS score calculation, finding your correct NOC code, right up to your visa stamping process. I've added a link to this process video in the description box as well. Basically, your CRS score is calculated with certain human capital factors such as your age, education, work experience, and language ability, among a few other factors like your ties in Canada. Among all of these, age carries a lot of weight, like I said earlier, and could fetch you a really high maximum number of 110 points. As you can see here on IRCC's official website, they have a summary of your CRS points and exactly how much points you can get for each human capital factor like your age, education, language score, and work experience. If you scroll below, you'll find a breakdown where you can see exactly how much you can score for your age factor every year. So you'll start getting points at 18, but you probably won't have any skill work experience at that age. So we'll move on to the age groups which most Express Entry candidates apply under, which is 20 to 29 years of age, which is also the age group at which you can score the maximum, which is 110 points if you're applying alone and 100 if you're applying with your spouse or common law partner. So as you can see, as you go further down after you start aging, you start losing points drastically at about 5 points every single year. And by the time you reach 35, you're already down to about 70 and you get just around 5 points at 44 and no points after that. So I wanted to show you what you can do in cases like these. So if you have Canadian work experience, you can get an additional 80 points applying alone and 70 points applying with your spouse to compensate the age factor, but that won't be enough. If you have an immediate sibling, which is a brother or sister living in Canada, whom you are related by blood, you can get an additional 15 points and that again won't be enough. If you can speak and understand French, you can get a huge additional 50 points, but this too sadly won't be enough. If you get a degree or anything above from an educational institution in Canada, you'll get an additional 30 points, which again won't be enough. But by the time you reach 30 to 35 years of age and above, you must have completed many years of skilled work experience, which Canada really needs right now. So what you can do is use this extensive experience and your references in Canada or maybe an office branch in Canada to secure a Canadian job offer. Now, Canadian job offer will give you a huge 200 additional CRS points, which is more than enough to make up for any age factor points that you've lost over the years as you got older. You can get a Canadian job offer, like I said, using your references or an intercompany transfer to a Canada branch or online portals like LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, Job Bank, social networking groups and pages, and the tips that I've covered in this detailed video on how you can secure a job offer in Canada from your home country. Option number 2 is the most common one, which is the provincial nomination. In addition to the Federal Express Entry program, each province and territory in Canada has their own provincial nomination program, in which they have their own set of requirements and application processes based on the job market needs in those provinces. I made a lot of videos on the provincial nomination programs for all the provinces and territories in Canada, and they are all linked in the description box as well, so you can assess your eligibility based on the requirements covered in each province's process video. Now, PNPs are typically of two types. The first type are those programs that are express entry oriented, for example the Alberta Express Entry program, in which the province of Alberta will give you a nomination certificate which you have to then upload in your express entry profile, and for your nomination certificate you will get 600 additional CRS points, which on its own is enough to get you your Canada PR. The second type of PNP programs are the EOI or Expression of Interest based programs, like the Manitoba PNP program, through which you have to create a separate application to a province on their official websites and upload the necessary documents there, or send them by post if they are paper-based EOI programs. One good thing about these EOI-based programs is they are completely independent from the Express Entry program, and they often don't have the high requirements of the Express Entry program, like a high IELTS CLB level or high proof of funds, for example, as these are not Express Entry oriented programs. However, they can take longer to process, especially if they are paper-based programs for obvious reasons. The third option is getting a startup visa. With a startup visa, you don't need a job offer, you don't need a high education level, and you don't need a high language test score as well. What you do need though is a business idea, and you need to find a designated organization that will endorse or sponsor you for your business idea. What it typically involves is creating jobs for those in Canada and running a successful and viable business, and this will qualify you for an immigrant visa in this category. The process to pitch your idea is different for each designated organization. Each organization has its own requirements. For example, you may be asked to present your business concept in person, or even submit a detailed business plan separately without a presentation or demonstration. The fee is 2,075 Canadian dollars for your visa, and the processing time is around 12 months. The good thing is that you'll need just CLB 5 for your language test, but you'll need proof of funds similar to Express Entry amounts in a CIC format bank letter, which I've explained in a detailed video linked in the description box. The next option is the Agri-Food Pilot Program, which provides a pathway to permanent residency for certain individuals who work in the agriculture and food sectors. Remember here that we are talking about people who don't qualify for Express Entry program because of a low CRS score, because of their age and other human capital factors. The good thing about the Agri-Food Pilot is that you need just CLB 4 in your language test, and you need just a high school education. So this program may be beneficial for many if you have experience in the food industry or agriculture. I made a detailed video about all the requirements and the application instructions for the Agri-Food Pilot program, which I'll link down below. The next option is Caregiver or Home Support Pilot programs. You need to meet the minimum qualifications, and you need to have a job offer, which isn't too hard to get because mostly every second household in Canada is looking for good qualified caregivers for their parents and children because of their busy lifestyle. You'll also need at least 2 years of qualified work experience to apply for permanent residence through this pilot program. These are basically 5-year pilot programs that let qualified caregivers and their family members come to Canada with the goal of becoming permanent residents. So you can get your family along with you, and even they can apply for permanent residence along with you. The application process will be different depending on how much qualifying work experience you have in two particular NOC codes, which are 4411, which is for home childcare providers, or 4412, which is for home support workers. And as promised, the sixth and most interesting option, which is mostly for couples who are qualified individuals and who are really motivated to move to Canada. You can do this individually as well if you're single, but you'll have to be really thrifty with your spending habits. So here's how it could work. One of you would enroll in a study program while the other one would work full-time to meet daily expenses. This option may not be everyone's cup of tea, as you may think you've already studied and you're saturated enough already and you can't study anymore. But remember that you're motivated to move to Canada, and a Canadian study course will ultimately help you towards your PR application for you and your spouse as well. You can also work part-time during a study course, which will help with your daily expenses and also further help your PR application, as you may even get offered a full-time position at your workplace after your study course ends. So one of the spouses who's interested and eager to study further may consider this option. They may apply for a master's or a PhD program at a Canadian university, based on which they'll get a student permit. If you're from a few select countries, you can even apply through the SDS stream, which processes applications in as less as 13 days. Now the other spouse who is more motivated to work can apply for a work permit. Based on their work permit, they can try to find a job in suitable NOC codes in skill types 0, A or B, which will help them in their PR application down the road. So how does this option actually help you out? Because one spouse is studying full-time while the other is working full-time, this has two benefits. One is that the spouse which is studying will get a work permit easily after their study course is over after 2 years, and that work permit will be valid for at least another 2 years. So now this person has around 4 years to search for a job, the first 2 years during their study course while the spouse is working, and 2 years courtesy of their work permit. That being said, you don't need so much time, and you will definitely have a job offer in hand by the time you finish your study course, as 2 years is more than enough to search for a job, and many universities in Canada even have campus placements, so you can start working immediately after finishing your study course. And remember what I said earlier, if you have work experience in Canada, or even if you have a direct job offer, which this option will allow you to have, you will get 200 additional CRS points, which will make up for around half of the required CRS points of draw cutoff numbers these days. So you'll just have to go through the initial pain and financial struggle until one spouse completes their study course, and then both of you will be working. You would have already built up a good enough credit score and earning a good enough amount to even buy a house in just 1 year's time. This may seem like an expensive option, as Canadian study courses are expensive for international students, but remember that you're building up valuable points with your Canadian education and Canadian work experience, which will ultimately qualify you to get your permanent residence through the Express Entry program. So you can consider this as a great investment. So that was option number 6. I hope you guys found this video informative. Do like this video if you did, and let me know in the comment section if this video has inspired you and which option you would consider. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe for regular updates on immigration, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well. I wish you guys the best of luck for your application and hope you guys have a great day.